question. What first steps would you recommend for teachers to do in their classrooms in order to shift towards teaching for those 21st century students and skills that includes racial and social justice?
Yes. So Ruthless Equity, I wrote the book. On one hand, I'm excited that equity is on the tip of everyone's tongue. That's a good thing. The grumpy uncle inside me is frustrated because equity has been pulled in 5,000 different directions, and 95% of those directions have been rooted in race and culture. And then 95% of the conversation is non-aspirational. In other words, equity conversations almost always focus on what we don't want, what we don't want to get rid of it. And we never get around to aspiration. And I believe that's contributing to states and districts kind of just like striking equity from their conversations, period, from policy. I believe that's contributing. It's not all of it, but it's hard to hear what you don't want. It's like if you're a life coach, right? If Karen, you're my life coach, and we're in January, and you say, okay, so what are your goals this year, Karen? And I say, well, I don't want glaucoma. I don't want a muffin top. I don't want gout because it makes my right foot swell up. I don't want a receding hairline. I don't want loss of energy or shortness of breath. After a while, you're like, well, okay, all right, booby, we got what you don't want. Tell me what you do want, or tell me what your life will be once you accomplish some of those things. And then I start getting into, I feel more energy throughout the day. I'm more available when I'm with my family. My health metrics are better. Like those things. We never get to the aspirational part. That's one. And two, no one can define equity. It's just it's got a bunch of helium in it. It's rooted in feelings and stuff and whatever we want it to be. And I wanted to give equity teeth. So to get back to your question, equity, I define ruthless equity this way. In a culture of belonging and inclusion, organizing to provide students what they need, when they need it, with urgency to master essential learning outcomes. Equity, and I'm focused on instructional equity because the only equity I care about is the kind that's going to affect Timmy tomorrow. I can't solve institutional racism. I don't know how to get rid of white supremacy. And more importantly, I don't know how that's going to impact Timmy tomorrow. But I do know if we identify essential learning outcomes in every course and every content area, and we make that the floor for every student, a lot of the stuff will take care of itself. A lot of the stuff will take care of itself. As fourth grade teachers, can you work with third grade teachers and fifth grade teachers to identify the most impactful, the most essential learning outcomes for fourth grade math students? The outcomes that will allow them to be prepared to be successful at the next grade level, the next course, the high stakes assessment, as I mentioned earlier. And they say, yes. Once you do that, that's the crown. You follow my work, you see in the corner, it says start with the crown, not with the kid. The reason coaches are successful is because they start with the crown. The five, right, those five competencies for a point guard, that's the crown. And then they grow every player to the crown. They don't start with the kid. If new teachers would do the same thing, what is it that every student must know and be able to do? Not the nice to knows, the absolute need to knows. Once you identify those, then guess what happens? Essential means essential. Essential doesn't mean for some kids. Essential means they must have it. So as soon as you decide something's essential, there is no more can they or can't they. There is no judgment. There's only how will we get them there. That's it. You take that approach, it's going to take care of a lot of our issues. To me, that's the most powerful approach. Because if all of our kids are succeeding, it's going to knock out a lot of these problems.